Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We are just about getting ready to get started. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our colleagues that are joining us online. Before we get started, a few housekeeping matters. So those of us that are here in the room, this would be a good time for you to put your mobile devices on silent or turn them off if you're not sure how to keep everything silent. And to those of our colleagues and distinguished guests that are joining us online, you have access to the Q&A section, and you can use this to share your well wishes for Dr. Pathak. We will compile these directly after this event and present these to him tomorrow or in the coming days. So please feel free to share your well wishes. At this point, I would like to invite Professor Prabhu Pingali, the chair of the ICRISAT Governing Board, to join us here on stage. I would also like to invite Dr. Himanshu Pathak, Director General of ICRISAT, to join us on stage, and Dr. Stanford Blade, Deputy Director General for Research and Innovation. Dr. Blade, before you get too comfortable, I'm going to invite you now to take the proceedings forward. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tahira, and thank you to all the colleagues for joining us on such an august and such an important occasion for the inauguration ceremony for Dr. Himanshu Pathak. I'd like to thank all of you in the room, but I would also very much like to thank colleagues, friends. I will say again, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all of you online. We very much appreciate all of you participating and joining in this very key occasion in the history of ICRISAT. I do want to acknowledge more formally some of the colleagues that have joined us not only here in the audience, for which we are very grateful, but for several of the online personalities that have also joined us as well. I will acknowledge, and these three individuals will be speaking, so I'll have a more formal introduction as the program continues. Dr. Ismahan El-Wafi, the Executive Managing Director of the CG, Ms. Alice Rueza, who is a member of the Integrated Partnership Board and also a member of the Governing Board of ICRISAT, and also Kathy Reed, who is the incoming Governing Board Chair. I'd also like to acknowledge the Secretaries of Ministries of Agriculture and allied departments in Kenya, Zimbabwe, Mali, Nigeria, and Niger. It's a great pleasure to have all of you online. Thank you very much for joining us. In addition, online, I'd also like to acknowledge the Directors General of NARS in our host countries in Africa, namely in Kenya, Malawi, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Mali, Niger, and Nigeria, and all of our partners and ICRISAT staff that are located in these locations across all of sub-Saharan Africa. In addition, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the CGIAR Asia Pacific Continental Champion, Dr. Yvonne Pinto, who is also the Director General of IRI, the International Rice Research Institute, all of our colleagues, the Directors General of the CG Institutes across the world, and the country representatives of CG centers that are based here in India. In addition, online, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Vice Chancellors of several of the SAUs, DDGs, ADGs, and directors of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research in our host country, India, and of course, the representatives of the World Bank, FAO, ADB, ACIAR, and all of our partners and donors that have been so supportive of ICRISAT over the years. In addition, we have a number of colleagues and friends in the audience. Would like to acknowledge Mr. Gareth Wynne, the Deputy High Commissioner of the UK, based here in Hyderabad. I had the great privilege of just meeting Consul General Jennifer Larson, located here as well, of the United States of America in Hyderabad. Dr. R.C. Agarwal, the Deputy Director General of ICAR. Dr. Janaya and Dr. Reddy, Vice Chancellors of SAUs here in Telangana. Dr. Zelalem Tafasi, Chief of the Field Office. It's so good to see you here this afternoon from UNICEF, based in Hyderabad. Mr. Ram Vasudevan, the board chair, and Ms. Linda Lapine, the principal of the International School here based right on our campus at ICRISAT, as well as directors of ICAR, ICMR, and the CSIR institutes based in Hyderabad, and also to acknowledge Mr. Sharat Kamath, the zonal head of IDBI Bank, who is also in the audience. And then, of course, to acknowledge the heads of all of the CGIAR and IARC centers that we host here in Patancheru on our ICRISAT campus. And of course, we certainly want to greet all of the friends and colleagues of ICRISAT, scientists, leaders, staff. We're so grateful for all of you to be participating in this important event. And because some of you may know, I lived several years in West Africa, there is a beautiful phrase called all protocols observed. So I will bring that into play as well. But all of us, of course, are very welcome for the participation that you are doing here for this particular event. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce Professor Prabhu Pingali. Dr. Pingali is the governing board chair here at ICRISAT, but he is also the professor of applied economics in the Charles H. Dyson School of Applied Economics and Management at Cornell University, with a joint appointment in the Division of Nutritional Sciences, as well as the Department of Global Development. Professor Pingali is the founding director of the Tata Cornell Institute for Agriculture and Nutrition, and he has also served in significant leadership roles in the Gates Foundation, as well as the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Prior to that, he worked for several years within the CG system, both in IRI, the Rice Research Institute, and CIMMYT in Mexico. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Pingali.
Thank you, Stan, for this great welcome. Great to be back in this podium again. Hello, everyone from ICRISAT, ICRISAT India, ICRISAT Africa, and friends all over the world, and all the dignitaries that have joined us today. Let me first start by thanking Stan Blade for stepping in a very unique transitional period. The last few months when we went into a Director General transition, Stan took the helm, kept the Institute steady, kept funding going well, and built partnerships with the One CGIAR, with the CGIAR centers, with the national programs. And it's been a great job, and thank you so much for everything you've done. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the governing board of ICRISAT, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Himanshu Pathak as the 10th Director General of ICRISAT. As a board, we are absolutely delighted to have someone with his level of research expertise, international recognition, and management expertise. That's a very, very unique combination and a very strong combination, and it'll be great for the leadership of ICRISAT. My job today is to very briefly introduce you to Himanshu Pathak. Most of you know that just last Friday, he finished his last job. And his last job was being the Director General of the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, which is one of the largest agricultural research organizations in the world. It's got a budget of $2 billion, and it's got a manpower of 24,000 people spread across 113 institutions and 74 agricultural universities in this country. That's an amazingly large portfolio. He decided to hand over his job on Friday, caught the next flight out to Hyderabad, and here he is starting on his next career. And we appreciate the speed at which he's made this transition. Mr. Pathak was also as a member of the CGIAR System Council, which is the apex body for all decision making related to the CGIAR. So he comes with a lot of experience on how the CGIAR works, what are the intricacies involved, and what are some of the behind the scenes action in the System Council. So that also helps us as we negotiate in the one CGIAR into the future. Before becoming the Director General of ICAR, Dr. Pathak served as the director of two of the ICR institutions. First with the National Institute of Abiotic Stress Management in Maharashtra and the National Rice Research Institute in Orissa. Dr. Pathak is a soil scientist and is very distinguished for his research on climate and agriculture. That's the area that he's most known for and has done the most innovative work in. He's published around 200 papers and several books, and his work has been cited about 26,000 times. So, for some of you who may not be aware, for us academics, citation score is the most important thing. And so 26,000 citations is the level of citations which 99% of academics do not achieve. So that's a big achievement for an academic. He's received a lot of important fellowships, including the Humboldt Fellowship in Germany. He's worked in several international organizations, most recently at the International Rice Research Institute as a senior scientist working on the Rice Wheat Consortium. And he's been the lead author of 2 IPCC reports and the agriculture coordinator for the UNFCCC. ICRISAT is privileged to have a person of such distinction to lead its research and management into the future. We all know that the agriculture research system and institutions are facing enormous challenges today, but there are also enormous opportunities. For ICRISAT, there are some challenges and opportunities that I'd like to list out for you. I think ICRISAT being a global leader in the drylands and research on the drylands, that's core of our work. And what we need to do over the next 5 years is to really strengthen that leadership role in the drylands to make a difference for the very poor, the very food insecure populations that live in the global drylands. That's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is to strengthen ICRISAT's presence and ICRISAT's contributions in sub-Saharan Africa. We are very strong in India, we're strong in South Asia, but we need to enhance our strength and our contributions in sub-Saharan Africa. The third, and this is a huge opportunity, is to build on the South-South collaboration work that India is doing and to link into that work and to bring in ICRISAT expertise into South-South collaboration, especially between India and sub-Saharan Africa. The fourth is the big diet change that's happening. The way urban populations are looking forward to more healthy diets. And ICRISAT has a unique opportunity here with millets and pulses and bringing them into the diet. The last and possibly the most important is to increase the funding base and diversify the funding base and stabilize the funding base of ICRISAT so that it can fulfill its mandate for transforming the drylands. When Stan Blade was working as an interim DG, he told me one day that no 2 days in ICRISAT are the same. And that's true. And that reminds me of an old Chinese phrase. May you live in interesting times. Dr. Pathak, as DG of ICRISAT, I assure you, you will be living in very interesting times and very challenging times. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 10th Director General of ICRISAT, Dr. Himanshu Pathak.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for so kind words. I do not know whether I deserve all of this, but I noted down the challenges which you have mentioned for ICRISAT. Friends, all my colleagues, those who are physically present here, and many of our colleagues have joined online. I'm not going to name all of them. As Stan said, all the protocols followed. But just to mention, Dr. Prabhu, Stan, very senior officers from Government of India, Telangana, senior officers from our friend countries, Ismahan from one CG, very senior other officers, my colleagues from ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, officers from Hyderabad representing other science and technology organizations like CSIR, DBT, and so on, Honorable Vice Chancellors, my colleagues, Deputy Director Generals, directors of various ICR institutes, staff of ICRISAT, scientists, technical, administrative, supporting, students, and ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you in this very beautiful and very much happening campus of ICRISAT. Thank you very much, board chair, all the board members, and all others for giving me this unique and excellent opportunity to join the team ICRISAT, to join the team 1CG, to serve the farmers. Most of them are small and marginal, having less than 1 hectare of land in dryland areas. Friends, as you all know, dryland areas occupy around 47%, so half of global agricultural land areas. This provides livelihood, employment for more than 2.1 billion people. And again, most of these farmers are small, marginal, and poor. To serve them, to improve the productivity of their land, to improve the livelihood, ensuring food and nutrition security, this organization, ICRISAT, was established. The humanity over the decades have established several excellent organizations. But probably one of the most significant and impactful organizations what the humanities has created in last several decades is probably CGIAR, Consultative Group for International Agriculture Research, which is working to promote food security, to reduce poverty, malnutrition, degradation of natural resources, and so on, so that the humanity can live in a better position. It was May 19th, 1971, when CGIAR was established. And just less than a year later, 28th of March, 1972, this organization was established. And two of the luminaries of global agriculture, not only Indian agriculture or African agriculture, global agriculture, Bharat Ratna Professor M. S. Swaminathan, whom we fondly known as father of India's Green Revolution, and Dr. Ralph Cummings. They were the signatories of the document which established this particular organization in 1972. Since then, the research, the human resource development, other activities of these organizations has benefited millions of farmers globally. Millions of farmers. Directly, it has impacted the farming community of 77 countries. So the contribution of ICRISAT and of course one CG in totality have been enormous. And that's what I was saying, that humanities have established some organizations, but probably CG and its centers spread all over the world are the ones which could make big impact, big imprint in reducing poverty, malnutrition, and so on. So on this particular occasion, when, as Prabhu said, the 10th Director General of ICRISAT, let me pay my respect and homage to the founders of this organization, person like Professor M. S. Swaminathan, person like Dr. Ralph Cummings, and many others, not only established, who not only dreamt, but nurtured this organization till today, so that it can continue contributing for dryland farming communities to make their life better. Friends, agriculture, as you all know, is probably the ancient profession of humanities. Ancient, most ancient ones. And again, in many countries, if not all countries, agriculture is not simply to grow food or to make money. Agriculture is their lives. Agriculture is their livelihood. Agriculture is their heritage. Agriculture is their culture. It is not only a profession of making money. I will quote few very ancient scripts. One is in Sanskrit, which says, Krishir dhanna, Krishir smedha, jivasya jivanam krishi. It means agriculture brings wealth, agriculture brings wisdom, and agriculture is the base of all life forms. Krishir dhanna, Krishir smedha, jivasya jivanam krishi. In African, particularly Swahili language, again a very beautiful quote, Ulimaji ni misingi, wah maisa, shitu chakula. Almost similar meaning of what it has been said in Sanskrit. It means farming is the foundation of life, not just producing food alone. It is the foundation of life, not just producing food. And in Telugu, it says, Shalabham kosham chesedi vyaparam, andari kosham chesedi vyavasayam. It means what we do for ourselves, the meaning is more important. What we do for ourselves is a business. But what we do for others is agriculture. So what we do for others is agriculture. So as I said, agriculture is not simply a profession of making money. It is a culture, it is heritage, it is our virasat, it is our prestige, it is our honor and everything. But then today's agriculture is not what it used to be, say around 100 years ago. Not even what it used to be around 30, 40 years ago. Today's agriculture is knowledge-based agriculture. Today's agriculture is technology-based agriculture. And there is a very good Hindi quotation, which is very, very apt for knowledge-based agriculture. You know, we used to think that agriculture can be done where there is water. So खेती वहां हो सकती है जहां है पानी. But in today's context, it is not water. खेती वहां हो सकती है जहां है ज्ञानी, मीनिंग नॉट वाटर. Agriculture, it is not that it is only water which can do agriculture, but agriculture can be done where there is knowledgeable people, person like Stan or all of you who are working in this particular field. Where is knowledge? Without knowledge, without new science, today's agriculture is not possible. And those new knowledge, new science, new technologies are being provided by institute like ICRISAT, are being provided by all these CG centers. And the contributions of CG centers, not only in one country or two countries, globally, which brought green revolution, white revolution, blue revolution, all kinds of revolutions, and impacted billions and billions of people. And therefore, I reiterate that humanities have created several organizations, but probably the most important of those are something like CG, something like ICRISAT, something like any other centers working under CG or any other organization like this. Our first Prime Minister of this country, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, used to say that these organizations are temples of a country. It is not simply academic organizations, simply not buildings, but these are the temples of any country. So this is one of the temples. And on this occasion, let me also thank Government of India providing all these facilities, not only land, but any other facilities, what one good organization wants. And also the people of Hyderabad for giving so much of love, so much of affection, providing all kinds of requirements what ICRISAT-like organizations would need. So thank you, Government of India. Thank you, people of Hyderabad, for bestowing and showering your love and affection on all of us since 1972 till 2025. And I'm sure this will continue in years to come. Friends, our board chair has already given us task, all those 5-6 points. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for those. And I fully endorse those. I fully agree to what all those 4-5 points have been mentioned by the board chair. Friends, for ICRISAT, I think this is really a very good opportunity time. Firstly, ICRISAT works on the crops, which are not only required by this country, but globally are so important. It works on pulses, it works on oilseed, and it works on millets. These are the crops which are climate smart crops. These are the crops which require little amount of water and other inputs. These are the crops which do not degrade soil, rather build soil, like pulse legumes and so on. And these are the crops which will ensure not only food, but nutrition security of millions of people all over the world. Now, ICRISAT works on these crops. So not only today, not yesterday's, but tomorrow's research and tomorrow's crops are these crops. And fortunately, ICRISAT is working on all of these crops. The second very ideal point for ICRISAT is we are located in South Asia. And this is the only organization in South Asia where not only the largest population lives, but most of the extremely poor people are also living over here. Around 33% of extremely poor people. ICRISAT has got a very strong presence in Africa. And that is another very positive point and very good opportunity for all of us to serve, to come out with new technologies, new varieties, new water management, new nutrition management, and so on, so that the farming communities of those countries will be benefited. And accordingly, ICRISAT should identify its trust areas, and we will do that. Our thrust areas will be to strengthen our regional centers, particularly in Africa. All of these centers, because Africa needs this. ICRISAT needs those. So that will be one of our very high priority areas to strengthen all those regional centers located in various countries in Africa. Also to enlarge our footprints in South Asia or Asia. That we shall try to do. Second, we'll be working more and more for climate resilience, for nature-friendly agriculture. As I said, it is fortunate that ICRISAT works on those nature-friendly crops, climate-smart crops, and we need to strengthen that. In today's agriculture, what we say in various other forums, that today's agriculture should have 5 friends or 5 friendly factors on which today's agriculture should base. Today's agriculture should be nature-friendly agriculture. Today's agriculture should be technology-friendly agriculture. Today's agriculture should be market-friendly agriculture. Today's agriculture should be gender and youth-friendly agriculture. And of course, today's agriculture should be culture-friendly agriculture. And ICRISAT is committed to work with all these 5 friendliness of agriculture. We're already working, but we need to strengthen some of these areas. We will adapt and take the benefit of digital technologies, including AI and so on. Because without digital technologies, without AI, in today's world, it will be very, very difficult to take away some of these new tools and technologies. So whether it is in research, whether it is in academic fronts, or whether it is demonstration as well as extension of various technologies, we will be taking advantage of all these digital tools, and ICRISAT is already very strong in this particular area. So this will be our second thrust areas. Efficient delivery of whatever we develop. My friends in ICRISAT might remember that ICRISAT used to have a slogan, science of discovery to science of delivery. That is a need of not only CG, but also of our NARS partners. We have developed many technologies, many varieties, but for some reason or the other, those technologies are yet to reach to the farmers. The delivery component needs to be strengthened, and ICRISAT can certainly come out with a good model, not only for itself, but also for whole CG and also our NARS partners of what a model delivery system could be. We'll be working on that particular aspect as well. Generating new knowledge will be our next thrust areas. Of course, agriculture has developed. But then even today, there are several things in agricultural science which is not known. Just to give you an example, and probably it will be amusing you, in microbial world, and you know microbes are so important in soil, they say that we know only 1% of total bacteria which are working in soil, only 1%. For actinomycetes, it is only 1.7%. For fungus, it is less than 2.5%. So that means more than 98 or 99% of these organisms, which are so friendly and so crucial for soil fertility, crop growth, and so on, we do not know. Our NARS partners are waiting for the CG centers to deliver on new science, new tools, new technologies. And over the years, as I said, that CG has contributed in a very big way. One of the major contributions have been to bring in new science and new technologies to different countries. In these countries' green revolution, CG centers have played very crucial roles, again by bringing new technologies. So that part, generating new knowledge, new science, need to be strengthened. Next thrust area is human resource development. Again, our NARS partners are looking forward for human resource development, capacity building. Science is changing almost every day. New and new tools are being developed. Now we have to reach all these new tools and technologies to our partners so that they can get the benefit out of all those global developments in science and technology. This particular job, human resource development, ICRISAT has been playing over the decades, and we need to strengthen that particular area as well. And of course, ICRISAT is bestowed with several resources, not only land, but also human resources, our laboratories, our fields, our technologies, our centers. And we'll be very, very happy to share our resources in a very strong partnership mode with our CG friends, with our nurse friends, and all others who are engaged in agriculture research and development. Because in today's world, partnership is the most crucial and most important. And we are committed to strengthen that partnership. We are redeeming our commitment and faith that we all will grow together in a very collaborative as well as in partnership mode. Friends, as I said, ICRISAT is in a unique position with all these points, which are location, crops, and so on. But then everything will happen only if we come together. So today it is a great day, not only for me, but it is a great day for ICRISAT when all of you have joined here to show your collaboration, your partnership, your willingness, and give your blessings to all of us. Dryland farmers need our support. Dryland farmers need new science and new technologies. We many times feel that technologies are used by rich people. But let me tell you, poor people need more and more of new technologies. Poor farmers need more and more of new technologies. Without new tools and technologies, they will not be able to come out of their poverty. And we can provide that. We can provide that together. So today, let us again commit ourselves. Let us again redeem our dedication and faith to serve the dryland farmers in particular, and of course, agriculture in general. Before I conclude, let me say a few words about the host country, India. For India and for Indian agriculture, ICRISAT can play a very crucial and significant roles. As you know, this country needs more and more pulses and oilseeds. In 2023, United Nations, with the request of India, we celebrated International Year of Millet. So this country as well, the whole world needs more and more millets. And it is not a coincidence that ICRISAT works on these three commodities: millet, pulses, and oilseeds. Government of India gives utmost importance to all these three commodities. Even you see the recent budget announcement, just 1st of February, again 3 or 4 points were mentioned. One was the yielding seed. ICRISAT is very much working on that. National Mission on Pulses, again ICRISAT is working on that. National Mission on Oilseeds, again ICRISAT is working on that. Second, National Gene Bank, ICRISAT has got very high expertise in exploration, collection, conservation, utilization of genetic resources. So certainly we can provide our expertise, our experiences, and all other resources for establishment of Gene Bank, and of course many other programs of this government. So we can work very closely with Government of India, with the Government of Telangana, and of course with all our ICR, CSIR, DST institutes, including the universities, NARS partners, in a very close way to not only strengthen but also to achieve our shared vision, our shared goals of achieving self-sufficiency, food security, nutrition security, and also environment security of agriculture, not only in this country, not only in Africa, but also all over the world. That was the dream with which ICRISAT was established in 1972. That was the dream with which CG centers were established, or CG was established in 1971. We have achieved a lot, but then there are many more things yet to be achieved, and all of us will be working in that direction. Once again, thank you very much, each and every one of you, for being here, for your blessings to ICRISAT, and we will be looking forward for your support and for your encouragement. Let us all be here to what we say, reform if required, transform, perform, and then inform others what we are doing here and what we are doing in all other CG centers. Thank you very much, all of you. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Very good. My apologies. Dr. Elawafi is the managing director, the executive managing director of the CGIAR. She has served in key roles as the chief scientist of the FAO. She's been the director general of ICPA, the Biosaline Agricultural Research Center. And without further ado, we will invite Ismahan. And I have to say, she is also a friend of ICRISAT. Dr. Elawafi, it's so good to see you. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was muted. Good afternoon to all colleagues from ICRISAT. All the best to all of you. It's really an honor to be here today with you to celebrate the inauguration of Dr. Himanshu Pathak as the new Director General of ICRISAT. I think really as both the chair, Dr. Prabhu, and Dr. Pathak, the new incoming DG, has said, this is a momentous occasion, not just for ICRISAT, but for all of us who are really committed to ensure a more food secure and resilient future. I extend my sincere gratitude to ICRISAT for this invitation and for the opportunity to share with you some of the important milestones and most importantly, to welcome aboard Dr. Himanshu. So Dr. Pathak, today we recognize not just your new leadership role, but also the remarkable contribution that you have made in the agriculture research. I enjoyed very much your speech, and many of the things that you mentioned resonate very well with me as a person, but also with the One CGR agenda. The focus on the nurses, we can't do it without it. I couldn't say it more, and I'm really grateful that you started and you give it a prominent part of your speech. The need for more delivery, the need for more scaling, the need for more technology, and again, partnership. As you said, really, agriculture, it's beyond food. Agriculture, I love what you said. It is really our culture, it's everything. So I always tell people, we don't have enough data and we don't know it very well, but about 3 billion people works in agriculture. So that means almost half of the population work in agriculture, because agriculture is not only production, it's the whole value chain. So great speech from both you and Prabhu. It's really a pleasure to join you. As Stan said, I'm a big friend and a big fan of ICRISAT. I think ICRISAT is a beacon of research in dryland farming, and it has supported already millions and millions of smallholder farmers in Asia and in Africa. What we want really to do is make sure that we do more. As you said, accelerate, amplify, intensify our impact in those dryland farming systems, because unfortunately with climate change, we will see more of them, not less of dry land, but more of dry land. And that's where the focus on developing climate smart crop and improving resilience in the world's most vulnerable agricultural region is a must. Last year, COP16 in Riyadh, on halting desertification and degradation of land really put a lot of emphasis, and I was very happy to be there with Dr. Stan Blade, that was acting DG of ICRISAT at that time, and with Dr. Ali Abu Saba, the DG of ICARDA, and many others from the CGR to launch really the dry land strategy. And that's very much needed. And I think really the COP16 gave us the platform to bring it forward, to say this is a must. We cannot be food secure, nor nutrition secure, unless really we use dry land and we tackle the issues and the challenges that we have in those dry land. So by working as a unified force, we can accelerate agricultural transformation, ensuring that no farmer, no matter how remote or how resource constrained they are left behind. I think CGR and ICRISAT, and we were very, very happy to have ICRISAT back. And thank you very much to the leadership of Dr. Prabhu and Dr. Sibanda, our chair of the IPB and the chair of ICRISAT, for really putting us together and making sure that really we pursue our common mission of transforming food, land, and water system in the face of climate change. The priorities are very clear. We have really discussed them. We have now a portfolio. I'm delighted to see ICRISAT scientists fully engaged in that portfolio over 2024 and seeing them even more engaged now as we are starting the implementation of the portfolio 2025 to 2030. Dr. Pathak, under your leadership, ICRISAT is well positioned to pioneer new solutions, to forge impactful partnership, and to drive transformative agricultural research. It's a place that I had the pleasure of visiting earlier this year, actually last year in 2024, and it was really a breath of fresh air to see so many innovation in the field. Now we need to really harness the power of scaling for impact, our program on scaling for impact, to bring those solutions to those that needs it the most, which is the small scale producers on the ground. So on behalf of CGR, I want to just reaffirm our unwavering commitment to working alongside with ICRISAT, supporting your leadership and advancing our shared mission. The future of agriculture depends on collaboration and partnership, on science-driven solution. Digital, definitely, it's a big opportunity for us to really move much, much more faster, and on dedicated leaders like you, Pathak, and like the wonderful DGs we have really in the CGR, and welcome also to the global leadership team. You're gonna find many of us around you to make sure we move together in the new era of ICRISAT and of the CGR. So again, congratulations, Dr. Pathak, on this well-deserved appointment. Thank you very much, Dr. Prabhu, for your leadership over so many years. And also special thanks to Stan for really holding the fort as an interim. It has been a pleasure to work with ICRISAT since I joined CGR. And it's really nice to see many of your young at heart scientists across the different portfolio of in science programs and other programs, and seeing them actively taking part and representing ICRISAT in the best way. Thank you very much and welcome aboard, Himanshu. Over to you, Stan.
Thank you, Dr. Ismahan. We very much appreciate your words and for making yourself available. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Ms. Alice Rueza. As I mentioned, Ms. Rueza is a board member here at ICRISAT, but she also serves on the Integrated Partnership Board of the CG. She's had a remarkable career, relatively newly appointed as the president of AGRA, for which, of course, we congratulate her, and has had significant leadership positions at the World Wildlife Fund, at Conservation International, working within UNDP. Alice Rueza, we welcome you to give a few words of acknowledgement of this inauguration ceremony.
Thank you very much. I think something's wrong with my camera. I don't know what it is. So my apologies that you cannot see me. It is my pleasure to be here today to join you in such an important occasion to welcome the 10th Director General of ICRISAT, Dr. Himanshu Pathak. I welcome you on behalf of the Integrated Partnership Board and our chair, Professor Lindwe Majele Sibanda, who asked me to deliver her remarks today. I know that this is the beginning of a wonderful chapter for ICRISAT. I will not repeat all the amazing points that have already been made, but let me just say that the board extends its sincere congratulations to Dr. Pathak and our gratitude to ICRISAT for inviting us to be part of this moment. I can't list all your achievements. Your career, Dr. Pathak, is a testament to your dedication to agriculture research and scientific excellence. As Director General of ICAR and Secretary of DARE, you advanced agricultural resilience in India and beyond. Your work in soil science, climate change, and abiotic stress management has shaped policies and research that benefit millions of farmers. And with such extensive international experience and a deep commitment to science-driven solution, we know that Dr. Pathak, you're well positioned to lead ICRISAT to the next phase of impact. ICRISAT has long been a leader in agriculture science, as we said, working at the intersection of research, innovation, and farmer empowerment. And as part of the integrated partnership with the CGIAR, ICRISAT's role is more critical than ever in addressing food security, climate resilience, and sustainable farming. The board is excited about the opportunities ahead, and we are committed to working alongside ICRISAT to scale impact and advance shared goals. Dr. Pathak, we congratulate you on this appointment. We look forward to your leadership. It's a moment of opportunity where collaboration, research, and innovation will shape a stronger agriculture future. And on behalf of the board, we pledge our continued support and partnership in this journey. I will also speak for myself on my own behalf as the president of AGRA 4 days in today. And I look forward to strengthening the South-South collaboration between Africa and India, working with you, ICRISAT, and working with the board and your wonderful staff and farmers to really advance a food secure Africa and a food secure India and a food secure world. Thank you again and congratulations. We wish you great success.
Thank you, Alice Rueza. We very much again appreciate your kind remarks and making yourself available. It's so good to have you. Our next speaker is the incoming governing board chair for ICRISAT, Professor Kathy Reed. Professor Reed has worked with the Crawford Fund for many years, is appointed also as an adjunct professor in the Center of Crop and Food Innovation at Murdoch University, has had a very august career influencing food and agriculture across the globe. Professor Reed, welcome. And if you don't mind my saying, we know that Cyclone Alfred is coming toward you, so it's very nice to have you in person. So thank you for joining us. The floor is yours. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. This is starting to wrap up the formal part of our program. I just want to provide a vote of thanks, of course, to our governing board chair for his kind remarks. Certainly also to our speakers, Isman El-Wafi, Alice Rueza, and also Kathy Reed, who you will realize was actually on video. So that probably means that the cyclone has really landed in her particular part of Australia. And I would also like to acknowledge many of our other governing board members who also have joined online. We're very grateful for them participating today and to wish their best wishes to Dr. Pathak. We appreciate the commitment of all of our governing board members, so it's so good to have them also in place as well. We certainly also want to, again, acknowledge EMD Executive Managing Director El Oafi, Kathy Reed, and Alice Arueza. And I just also have to take a moment to thank the DG's office for organizing this event, our IT group, so many of the other people across ICRISAT who have been so instrumental in pulling all of this together. We're just very grateful for all of the activities that have occurred. In a moment, I'm going to invite Tahira Carter back up to give you some logistics, but I hope that you'll be able to stay for tea out in the academic court for the opportunity to have a reception. And I will just leave then my last comments as the biggest vote of thanks to Dr. Himanshu Pathak. We're so grateful, sir, for you joining us, for your leadership. We very much look forward to this next stage of ICRISAT. It's a great pleasure. Here, I will invite you then just to maybe give us a few instructions as to the next stage. Thank you again for your participation in such an important event for ICRISAT and for agriculture. Of course, you know our ethos. We talk about transforming dryland agriculture, and there is no doubt that this is indeed where we are going in the future with Dr. Pathak's leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Blade. And this brings us to a close this afternoon. Just outside these doors in the academic court, we invite you to join us for high tea. We are trying to keep with the time constraints, so we ask if you can please allow our members of staff to exit, and then if we can all proceed towards the academic court so we can begin the high tea. There will be a meet and greet opportunity out there if you would like to meet and greet with Dr. Pathak and, of course, our board chair and our other members of the leadership team. Thank you.